From Koreatown, Los Angeles, ho, ho, ho. Thank you for tuning in to ho, 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 Ktown Social Club. We bring together all viewpoints, ho, 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 from every angle to talk about the issues that you, ho, 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 really care about. Leave a comment, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and ho, ho, smash that notification bell. Check the description box below to follow our social media and get our podcast information. Ho, ho, ho. I'm Michael Kim, Santa Kim, joined today by Elf Ed, DJ Elf, no, Elf Ed, and
what is happening?
Doug the red nose, another elf, and
Red nose elf?
I don't know. Yeah, thanks for tuning in today for this special, holiday edition of Ktown Social Club. And so let's get right into the issues.
Why am I so zoomed in?
Wait, what is this? Oh, it's just a ribbon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks different on the. Okay. La, 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 la.
Well, happy holidays.
Yeah, happy holidays. It's December 20th. It'll be Christmas in 5 days, and we hope you get all your gifts, and you're not single, and what do they say in Korea, like 따뜻한 겨울 or 따뜻한 Christmas, like have a warm
holidays.
If you have like a lover or something.
I heard a different thing about Christmas in Korean culture. What? They said that women are like a Christmas cake. Every year after 25, they start to go bad.
Every year after 25?
Yeah,
Christmas cakes go bad.
I don't know. Apparently in Korea, they have Christmas cakes, and so
everybody has Christmas cakes.
Yes. So on the 25th, it's perfect because it's Christmas. But then on the 26th, on the 27th, 28th, the cake starts to go bad. That's what I heard.
This is cool. All right. Yeah, so
I don't know what's happening.
Let's get into the issues today. Happy holidays, everybody. Don't forget to like this video. Hey, Joe Biden's time has almost come to an end as president. He's got about a month left.
When's the inauguration's on the 20th?
Something
16th.
January.
Isn't the 16th? No.
Because if January 6th was last time, why is it so late this time?
Just January 20th, yeah. Monday, January 20th. So Biden's got about 34 days. Like 5 weeks.
Got almost exactly a month.
5 weeks, isn't it? Something is it?
When this comes out, it'll be exactly a month.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
31.
Anyway, 35 days. So, from when this comes out, yeah. And let's talk about, he's been pardoning some people. He has the right, he has the power.
It's true.
So let's see he's been pardoning. So here's this little thing that we found here on Twitter. Oh, wow, it's from a proud socialist. Are you saying a socialist is criticizing Joe Biden? I thought Joe Biden was a communist or something, right? Anyway, Joe Biden has pardoned a doctor who diluted the chemo of cancer patients. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
A judge who locked up.
So you know how like you have chemo, they just like diluted it by like just putting it with saline or whatever.
But what did it do?
Save on chemo, I guess.
While killing patients, though?
I don't know. I guess it wasn't as effective because if you don't have the right amount of chemo.
Yeah, I understand that, but unless we know that there was like people who died.
Oh, I don't know.
What was the effect?
Yeah.
Okay. But there was a judge who locked up kids for cash, a CEO who led a $19 million fraud scheme, a local official who stole $53 million from a small town, and his own son. He literally pardoned fraud, bribery, and corruption. Let's see. Let's get more details on some of these. So, wow. This is from Yashar Ali. I don't know who that is. One of the people who got their sentence commuted by Biden today was one of the Kids for Cash judges. He accepted big kickbacks in exchange for sentencing kids to a for-profit prison. Over 2,500 children were impacted by these corrupt judges, and some of them ended up taking their own lives. Now imagine that. The United States of America, we do have private prisons. We operate prisons for profit here. In fact,
I think almost all of them are becoming private.
Are we the only country that does that?
that would be, I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't know.
I think we're the only country of developed nations that might do that.
That privatize prison?
But one of the big prison stocks I know is Core Civic. So let's look at their stock price. I think they operate as real estate investment trusts, don't they? Let's see. Core Civic is a, where's the market cap?
It's 2.4. It's on the right. Go up. On the right.
Oh, okay. It's a $2.4 billion company. Where do I find their earnings and shit?
That's that. So income statement.
EBITDA.
Go to annual.
Annual, okay. Revenue 1.9 billion, operating next net income, net profit margin, earnings per share. Let's look at their. I'm trying to find their dividend information.
Doesn't look like they're that profitable.
Where's their dividend information? Oh, do they not pay out dividends?
Yeah.
Dividend.
They don't seem to be that profitable, actually.
Oh, there are dividend. Oh, they stopped paying out dividends about nearly 5 years ago.
But privatized
They might have had to do that because of COVID.
privatized prisons are really immoral, though, because outside of the fact of all the way they cut corners, this is actually one of the only ways that indentured servitude still remains in the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and Geo Group is another one that's nearly a $4 billion company now, $3.88 billion. But anyway, these are private corporations with shareholders, big funds are in this as well. And when you have a profit incentive for prisons and, you're struggling, maybe one solution is hit up some judges, be like, hey, we need more prisoners. Hey, get those kids in our prisons. We'll give you some kickback. So,
and it's also at the police level too. Like they get overtime hours for
or
more
like
cases.
In California, where maybe it might not be all privatized. For instance, the LA Sheriff's Department runs those prisons. So they have incentive to lock up people because it ups their yearly multi-billion-dollar budget.
Wait, so how has this not been, separation or whatever?
Because who's going to separate it?
Look
the
at
government.
all the money
they're
that goes
the ones
into
making
politics.
money, right?
Yeah.
So let's see. Former Luzerne County Judge Michael T. Conahan, who gained notoriety for wrongfully imprisoning juveniles in the Kids for Cash scandal, is one of the nearly 1,500 inmates whose sentences President 1,500 inmates whose sentences President Joe Biden commuted Thursday as his term in office comes to a close. Conahan, 72, was convicted along with former Judge Mark A. Civarella Jr. of funneling juvenile defendants to two private for-profit detention centers in exchange for $2.1 million in kickbacks. Now, he pleaded guilty to racketeering conspiracy charges and was sentenced in 2011 to 17 and a half years in prison. So he would have been out in 2028 or so. However, he petitioned the courts for a compassionate release during the COVID-19 pandemic, writing that he was in grave danger of not only contracting the virus, but of dying from the virus, because no one else in prison is in grave danger, right, at that time. But I guess he's special because he was a judge and he sent people to the prisons for, $2.1 million. Now, this is absolutely
there's
criminal.
reports now that are coming out that the Ukraine aid, for example, only 25% is actually going to the battlefield. People are estimating that 25% is going to kickbacks to politicians here, and then 50% is going to kickbacks to Ukrainian politicians there, and then only really they're seeing 25% of that aid in actual weapons.
That happens with a lot of these nonprofit places. Most of it goes towards administrative fees, and barely any of it goes to actually.
Yeah. So it's bullshit, and
because he was trying to push he's pushed another couple $2 billion to Ukraine while in the past few weeks.
Oh, another couple billion. Okay.
Yeah.
What's another couple billion, right? Now,
he's already.
But if you put that couple billion plus the other couple billion plus the other couple billion all into healthcare, then where do you get your kickbacks? You don't.
Yeah, because that's why he pardoned Hunter Biden from 2014 on, because probably a lot of that shit was in that.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, it just goes to show that while this is still legal, while we still have private prisons operating, I don't think we have any, as a country. I don't think it's just another example of how we don't have any moral authority
High
over
ground,
other
yeah.
nations to lecture them about human rights,
Yeah.
especially with supporting everything in Gaza and.
The crazy thing about that is that like Trump's talking about privatizing more sectors like education. And the last time we had someone who was a celebrity in office, Reagan, he's the one who privatized insurance.
I thought that was Nixon, the health insurance stuff.
It was Reagan.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
Anyway, here's another pardon. President Biden commuted the sentence of Rita Crundwell, the woman who embezzled over $53 million from a small Illinois town and spent it on luxury goods, real estate, and a horse breeding business. Her scheme was the largest municipal embezzlement in U.S. history and left the town of 15,000 struggling for many years. The city of Dixon issued the statement below in response. The city of Dixon is shocked and outraged with the announcement that President Biden has given Rita Crundwell clemency for the largest municipal embezzlement in the history of our country. This is a complete travesty of justice and a slap in the face for our entire community. While today's news is unimaginable, the city of Dixon is in an incredible place today. We will continue to focus on the future and work to capitalize on the momentum we have created. Now, I don't understand. Why would Biden, what's her connection? What's so special about her?
It has to be somebody knows someone who looked for a
Kickback.
favor, which is why politics, when you have the way that it's set up, it will be corrupt because you owe people so much for supporting you and funding your campaign. This is almost inevitable. This happens in every presidency.
Yeah. Rita Crundwell. I just want to see what she looks like. Oh, fucking bitch. She looks like a fucking Karen. Look at her.
I hate to say it, but she does look like a fucking Karen. She's got Karen
And
face.
she's a fucking horse person. A lot of horse people are
horse-faced
crazy.
Karen.
Yeah, I think there should be probably a new kind of
Karen-faced
like
horse
law.
person.
You
Yeah.
can't pardon anyone after the election.
But anyway, she still got away with $13 million. She was ordered to pay full restitution, but by the time she was sentenced, they managed to recover about $12.3 million from the sale of her assets, including horses and everything. Her and her legal team worked with authorities to liquidate assets to aid in restitution. By 2017, she had recovered approximately $40 million of the 53.
Yep, 13 million unrecovered.
$13 million. Wow. Wow. Okay. So anyway, that's another example. Okay. That's it for that. I don't have details on the other ones. But, every president always pardons shady people.
Yeah, so the Republicans are going to probably push for all the Jan 6 people to be pardoned.
No, Trump already said he would during campaign.
Oh, okay, so I think they're going to push this stuff now to be like, look what they did. We get to do it too,
Yeah, they can always say that, well, you guys...
Right.
And that's exactly when it happened to Hunter. Well, Donald Trump let his son...
Though,
okay, fine, but...
it did come out that there were federal operatives also instigating in Jan 6 too.
Yeah, and I have something for that too.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so let's move on to United Healthcare. Luigi's been arrested.
He's being hailed a hero.
He's being hailed as a hero.
There are hundreds of thousands of people who are giving him alibis.
Right, yeah.
Hundreds upon thousands.
He was supposed to be on Ktown Social Club that day, but he had an incident in the bathroom or something, so he couldn't come on the show that day.
He's creating an alibi.
I know. It wasn't very.
It didn't hit.
It wasn't a very positive alibi. Sounded like he was doing vulgar things in the bathroom.
Maybe he just had to dig along shit.
Yeah, something like that.
He did.
Luigi,
We ate a bunch of tteokbokki for lunch together, and he blew up the bathroom.
Tteokbokki and pasta.
Jeez.
Don't mix it. Anyway.
But I think, there were a lot of narratives about him coming out from both the left and the right. Both of them claiming, he's our guy. It was kind of funny to see, actually.
Yeah, but after, we saw the country was united in Yeah.
Well, that was the purpose, right? And that's the thing too, is that like a lot of people were like, oh, but he had all these like right wing posts, or like, oh, he had these liberal posts. It's like, no, it's like a lot of Americans. No one is like extremist right or left. A lot of us just believe stuff that we believe, and we just try to
Parse through it.
Yeah. And that's who he was. That happened because that clearly wasn't his objective. His objective was to compare classism, up versus down, the people who are the 1%ers versus the ones
As a
who are
class
not.
traitor too.
Yeah, especially because it came out that his family made their bajillions off of healthcare.
How rich were they? Do you know? Like
The area of Maryland that he lives in is possibly one of the richest neighborhoods in the Baltimore area. I have a lot of friends in the Baltimore area, and that area.
But that's not like a government fed area, right? It's more bougie.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very like CEOs and old. It's old money, that area.
So he's a rich guy who's saying, "Hey, I want to fight for the poor."
Yeah.
He's kind of like
He was a tech bro.
Che Guevara, huh? He was from a rich family,
But
wasn't he?
but unlike the insurance side, his family comes from the provider side. So they own like nursing homes and those kind of facilities. And if I had to take a guess, there's a possibility that when the I forget the name, the process fucking company that went down under United Healthcare, they might not have gotten paid potentially because of it.
I see. Well, I mean,
But there's a lot of corruption on his family side too, which kind of made me linger, like think all the time. I was like, why didn't you just take out
your family.
your family?
I mean, I guess maybe that's a bridge too far for
A little too close to home,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah. But, a lot of people were praising him both on the left and the right. And soon afterwards, we started seeing, whether Fox News or even I saw Piers Morgan, like, condemning this, or Ben Shapiro.
Oh my God, that motherfucker got owned.
Yeah, even his right wing audience was like,
No.
call me a leftist then.
Yeah, a lot of people were like, this is not a left or right. This is an up or down. This is all of us against them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here's the Ben Shapiro thing. Was it right-wing corporate grifter getting cooked by his own audience over copay killer?
God, I love that word grifter so much.
Ben Shapiro, I guess the title of his video was "The Evil Revolutionary Left Cheers Murder." Well, this guy cheers the murder of Gazans every day.
Yeah.
So I guess there were some comments to Ben Shapiro's videos. I'm not, and again, these are conservatives here, right? I'm not buying this left versus right shit anymore, Ben. I want healthcare for my family, just like Israelis get. Seeing rich people be so out
Our
of
tax dollars. Yeah.
Seeing rich people be so out of touch on this topic and be so clearly afraid of potential class consciousness truly fills me with hope. Surprise! Out of touch rich guy defends other rich guys. Another guy, hey Ben, daily listener and fan here, just letting you know your wealth is showing. Don't forget, poor people like us are victims of healthcare fraud. When my provider denied my claim, I didn't have enough money to hire a lawyer and sue. I had to file for bankruptcy. It ruined my life, my entire life. And let's see. Anyway.
Yeah, because Ben Shapiro makes millions of dollars. Like, he's not one of you guys. He's one of them.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots.
He's a wealthy, wealthy Zionist. But all these comments are against him. My God, conservatives, liberal, and lefties are hugging it out in the comments. My God, this is beautiful.
It's almost like that's what was meant to happen.
Here's another one. I just realized your entire business model requires that us normal folk hate each other. That got 11,000 likes. And let's see if there's any other great gems here. Ben is pissed because bipartisan agreement is bad for his business model. Fucking Zionist.
Unsubbed.
Unsubbed. Find another audience to play apologist to the people who help make the lives of hardworking Americans difficult. Yeah.
I love when people announce their departure.
I mean, like, I think, like, the ruling class literally doesn't realize that Americans view them as Louis XVI.
Yeah, I think this is actually waking people up and realizing this whole left versus right thing is a ploy by the politicians to divide the public so that they can hide all the actual stuff that they're doing, like talking about the trans issue and the bathroom thing. They don't actually give a shit about any of that.
Right.
That's just a distraction to the fact that they are robbing all of us fucking blind and killing us so that they can make an extra couple dollars. That's what this is
Isn't that
about.
what they say? They got you fighting a culture war.
And you said this before we started recording this episode, but like billionaires should not exist. They should not exist up until there is rights for like everyone can eat and have housing. Like you said, there's no reason why billionaires should exist.
Housing, education, food,
Yep.
safety,
Yep.
opportunity. These should be these should be human rights. And until everyone has these human rights, I don't know what's the point of billionaires.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a video today where it was very crass, but it was like all of the CEOs who have nothing to, worry about and can sleep soundly tonight, and they were like listing all the ones who like weren't problematic, albeit some of them were a little questionable, but yeah,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, some are questionable, but some are like
some are
straight
evil.
up evil.
Yeah, some are literally signing papers that kill hundreds upon thousands of people.
Yeah. So many people think this is going to start a trend and we're going to see more of these incidents, Luigi incidents. And, for me, I'm like, I'm not going to condone it, but I'm just going to.
I'm also not going to call it in.
I'll just watch the show.
I mean, communists would say this is more like an anarchist, adventurist type thing, because like since you can't tie it to a political base or an ideology, you can't really predict what the results will be. So that's why communists generally don't endorse terrorism.
Terrorism.
But we do recognize that obviously it is creating class consciousness.
Right. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. There are posters going up of other CEOs.
I'm more
in New
talking
York.
about the technical definition of terrorism. I'm not saying I'm not making a judgment on his whatever.
But you personally said that you think violence is necessary to get to where we need to sometimes, right?
Yes, but it has to be controlled violence in the in terms of like if it's like a war, for example, or something like that.
What if it's not in wartime?
And
Like
what
right
if it's
now.
a class war?
Well, then you need to, like communists need to activate, the people first, so that the people will naturally think, hey, if I'm in a situation where the only way out is violence, then yes, I have to use violence. Communists use violence as a method of last resort. It's just kind of like you remember when Kwame Ture was like,
Stokely Carmichael.
yeah. So there was this guy in his audience, a white guy, who was like, well, I don't believe in violence. I don't believe violence can solve any issue or whatever. And then Stokely Carmichael says, okay, so let's say you are a slave and I'm your master, and the only way to get your freedom is to kill me. What is your option? What do you do?
He said, "I got you right."
And it just
I
sat
got
back
it.
down.
I got it. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good. I remember.
So
that.
yes, yeah, obviously, like there is a place for violence,
Yeah.
but it has to be a specific purpose and it has to have a specific political character to it.
Do you feel that Luigi's actions was not good? It should have been more.
It's more I don't like to frame things in like whether it was good or bad. I think if he did it on his own, like that was kind of like it was like an act for him and his own kind of like beliefs or whatever. The effects of that might be good or bad, but in his own, I guess motives and whatever, I would say that it's like more of like an adventurous thing. But my thought goes more to thinking like, is this possibly a false flag? Is the CIA maybe MK Ultraing this guy? And, as a queen's sacrifice, they don't care about this Brian Thompson guy, right? So they can use him as a sacrifice to like bolster the ranks of the CEO, be like, we need to push for fascist police. Basically the same thing that happened after 9/11, right? We had the Patriot Act, we had all these different restrictions on flying and whatever. And we didn't care about it back then because we're like, oh yeah, the terrorists are after us. We need all these things, right? But
Yeah.
it came out that a lot of this shit was like, Snowden revealed that a lot of this shit was to
Yeah.
like increase surveillance on all of us.
True.
So that's why I'm like, I'm hesitant to say that this was like a totally positive event because like I want to
Okay.
see what happens in the
Okay.
next few months.
By the way, I think it's funny that when you talk, the bells in your hat.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
Oh, is that what that was?
The chiming bells. Okay, cool. So yeah, Ben Shapiro is against it. Fox News has been talking negatively about it, and even Piers Morgan. He had a bunch of panelists on, and Brianna Joy Gray was on there. And
What did she say?
she's like, well, I mean, she was not as sympathetic as.
Oh yeah.
you know,
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, she held her own pretty well, and there was another guy who was with her, but yeah, it was tough. And then she brought up a good point: is like, why do you care about this one CEO guy? You don't care about the thousands of people that he affected.
Dying every day.
Hundreds of thousands
of people, like all the people there. And there's this fucking guy who was on the panel. He's like, I'm in Israel. And in Israel, and it's like, how does this fucking guy talk, you know?
You do not, I would have been like, you do not deserve an opinion.
Yeah, this guy's like, well, this is a, you know, this
A, we
innocent
paid
guy.
for your fucking healthcare. B, fuck you.
And that's the other thing is Piers Morgan has healthcare. He's from the UK. He's not even American. They have healthcare there. Israelis have healthcare.
Paid by us.
Right.
Yeah, like if you don't understand how much this U.S. healthcare system fucks over its people, you don't have a say.
Yeah.
And it also fucks over a lot of businesses because the burden of healthcare is often put on business owners and a lot of small business owners. And, you know, and the thing is for like a young person, it might only be like only $500 a month, but older people who are employed, it might be over $1,000 a month. And
they get denied anyway.
yeah, so it's really messed up. And even the healthcare that we have here at this company, like when I try to, I hate going to the doctor because
Overpriced.
it's all
here.
messed up.
Not only is it overpriced, but there are some healthcare providers that say that like sometimes if you have insurance, your copay is actually higher than you would pay if you did not have insurance because they inflate the cost if you have insurance so much.
Oh, yeah.
Exponentially so. Like they literally inflate it by like 2,000%.
Yeah, so we need healthcare for all, like ASAP, and also take the burden off, you know, businesses because I guarantee you'll see a lot more small businesses, you know, doing things if they're not the ones burdened with healthcare. And then also, you know, a lot of businesses don't want to hire like full time, right? Because then you got to do the healthcare thing.
Like McDonald's.
Yeah, so it's like just fucking take care of it, and you know, and
Nope, they had to kill Bernie in 2020.
yeah, and AOC. I mean,
AOC scum.
she
okay?
was like, we
fucking
can't
scum.
even get a floor vote on Medicare for all. Let's see what she does now.
No, she's scum.
Who was that CEO that you stated when I brought it up? That guy who like took down his multi-million-dollar salary, brought it down to 70,000 so he could pay everyone 70,000.
Dan Price, I think, from Gravity Payments.
It is Gravity Payments. Gravity Payments almost went under during COVID, but because he did that pre-COVID, all of his workers took a pay cut so that they can save the company. It's his humanity that kept his company alive. And then when they started doing,
What does it do?
They handle like, you know, card processing payments.
yeah, and then when they started doing better after COVID, all of his workers chipped in to buy him a new Tesla as a thank you.
Wow. He was making 1.1 million, and he cut it down to
70,000 a year.
And this was in 2015.
Yep. This was before it was cool to do this.
Holy shit, he was like 31 years old
I
making.
want to see his equity holdings though.
Yeah, but you know, I stuff happened afterwards, didn't it? Like sexual harassment stuff. I remember with this guy.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, Price was arrested and charged. Assaulted the manager. Price threw a punch, slapped and body slammed and waterboarded her while they were married.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so I remember all this stuff, and then later on, I remember all this other shit coming out. So
I mean, I'm not saying that just because he did that, he's a good person.
But yeah, that was a good
like,
thing.
Doing the good thing saved
Yeah.
his company, though.
Yeah. So that's one of the, you know, things that, you know, as a CEO, not as a person.
Right. Correct.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, it's true that, you know, you see all these people who are crying tears for Brian Thompson have not shed a single tear for any dead child in Gaza or
Fucking here.
or any of the healthcare people who died from lack of healthcare coverage in the United States, or even the thousands of people that get killed by guns every year here. Why do we have to care about this one
Right.
wealthy guy who negatively affected the lives of so many people.
Because it like doesn't even end there, right? Like, what about all the research companies? Like, how about all the kids who died because the research wasn't funded because it went to administrative costs?
Did you guys see the Teal interview about that, where he's like literally does not know how to look it up. Look at the Teal CEO.
Who? Oh, this
Peter
Teal
Thiel.
CEO.
Peter Thiel.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Shooting.
Yeah, I was thinking of adding that. Yeah, he didn't know how to answer the question.
It's like hilarious. He's like,
well, he was just kind of dumbfounded, wasn't he? Yeah, here it
And
is.
to those who think this shooter is a hero because he did it because he said this healthcare executive was presiding over a
He literally
healthcare
looks
system
like a
which kills
movie villain.
thousands of Americans by denying them cover. What would you say to them?
Oh my God, pretend like you lost connection, you fucking idiot.
It's
he's like,
I
Cannot compute.
don't know what to say. I still think you should try to make an argument, and I think this is you should, you know, there may be things wrong with our healthcare system, but you
Oh my God, my
you
brain
have to
hurts.
make an argument, and you have to try to find a way to convince people and change it by that. And this is, you know, this is not going to work. And, I don't know.
Pierce is trying to save him.
It's yeah. I mean, there are all sorts of things one could say about it, but
Oh my God, am I having an aneurysm or is he? Jesus Christ, what is
I
happening?
was like, this is
I think
hilarious.
the motives feel. I don't,
Oh my
I
God,
don't
just
wanna
cut it
go into
off.
all the particulars here, but I don't think I don't think there's anything heroic about him.
Okay, got it.
Oh my
Thanks.
God, just close the laptop and pretend like there was a fucking connection
Yeah.
issue. Jesus Christ.
So anyway, that's Peter Thiel.
But it's like, I think what I like about what's coming out about the media is that they're kind of telling on themselves. They're kind of telling on themselves, like, you should care about this because my life is threatened. And it's like, wait, so you're saying you agree with the guy's actions and that you would have been in the same shoes as him? You know, I think they're like unintentionally telling on themselves.
Now, here's a dumbass tweet that I saw. It says, all these libs saying healthcare CO deserve to die because healthcare system sucks. The system you are criticizing is Obamacare. Told you this would happen a decade ago. Like, what were
sorry,
things
did
great
did
before
someone-
Obamacare?
Did someone retweet that with bullseye fucking emojis?
Yeah.
What a fucking idiot.
Oh, by the way, I wanted to add that
That's a libertarian account.
Elon Musk actually retweeted this. That's why I wanted to share this. Elon Musk retweeted this.
I mean, it's not
Fucking stupid.
It's not 100% stupid. I know what he's talking about. Like, economically, like the Obamacare stuff did increase prices for a lot of shit, and there was a lot of corruption with that. But
Right,
Yeah, but it didn't lead to hundreds of thousands of deaths. Also,
well, yeah, I mean, yeah.
also United Healthcare is the biggest provider of Obamacare.
So that's what he's saying. He's saying that Obamacare is the reason why it's so high, like the premiums are so high, and like the system is inefficient and whatever. Which he has somewhat of a point on, but the fact remains. I think you said that, right? Like that Reagan was the one who introduced private insurance.
He's the one who fucking privatized insurance.
So if you want to solve for first cause,
right?
That's the
yeah. So Carl Higbee, Rothmus, and Elon Musk, you're all fucking stupid. All right. What else we got here? Oh, here's this. Remember when Boeing fucking murdered a whistleblower who was telling U.S. citizens how unsafe Boeing planes are? The government started zero investigations, and we all did nothing and forgot within a week.
Who forgot?
We still remember.
Who forgot?
Two whistleblowers.
Yeah, two of them, right? Two of them.
Fool me once.
I'm pretty sure everyone I've ever talked to who's flown in the last 2 years has talked about the Boeing thing, because who's forgotten about it?
Yeah.
The media.
There's just nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, when's the media going to do, or when are our leaders going to do something? But whatever, it's Boeing. They make missiles too, don't they?
I don't think so. I think they just make.
Yeah, they do make missiles.
No,
they do?
They are a government contractor.
Yeah.
Oh, because they do rocket stuff.
Look at all this
so
shit.
That makes sense.
Yeah, like we're gonna go after them. I mean, they're the ones that fucking anyway.
You
Fun
didn't even have
fact.
to show that. They killed 2 people. Like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Yeah. So corporations are taking hits out on people here, but don't talk about that. But man, the fucking CEO gets killed. All hell breaks loose. Fuck that.
I mean,
You sound like the Joker in
but I
Dark
mean,
Knight.
he himself literally signed paperwork that killed hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah.
So like, he's directly responsible.
Here's another whistleblower found dead. OpenAI whistleblower found dead in apartment. 26-year-old Suchir Balaji was found dead in San Francisco
Like, I'm sorry, but whistleblowers do not commit suicide.
shortly after publicly speaking out about the AI company's data gathering policies.
You don't work up the courage after months and potentially years to do this thing that could hurt your life, and then decide, you know what, I'm just gonna end it myself. Like that.
Yeah.
It just and it just doesn't make
Even
any
if you
sense.
were suicidal, you'd be like, no, I'm waiting this out
Exactly.
to see how this plays
Correct.
out. And then if it doesn't work out the way I want it to, maybe
Yeah.
I kill myself then or something.
You don't. That doesn't. It doesn't
Yeah.
even logically make any sense from any
They're
standpoint.
like lying to us straight up right now.
Yeah, so who owns OpenAI? Is Elon Musk involved in any way?
No.
No, okay.
So
good.
that's what he was talking about. Sam Altman was the primary person at OpenAI. Apparently, Elon did donate money to OpenAI before under the auspices that it was a open sourced AI project, but then they took it private last year, or this year or last year or something.
Yeah, so he was working specifically on ChatGPT, and he was having issues with this whole fair use bullshit that they use. Because, like, unlike actual fair use, where you take something that already exists, change it to a certain percentage, or to criticize it or whatever you want to do with it, to talk about it from a contextual standpoint. And he essentially was like, there is no such thing as fair use within AI. Because this thing can take that and then change it for its own use that benefits itself, which ultimately benefits the company. So it's not a fair use. It's outright stealing, which if he can prove that, that would shut down essentially AI in its tracks because
Or OpenAI.
Yes, OpenAI, but like majority of AI is sourced exactly the same way. They just scour the webs and they use it all as
Public data.
as public data, which is what this point is that you can't do that.
Yeah.
Because while they're not sentient beings, they can do stuff with that information that is no longer fair use.
Yeah, so it looks like another corporate hit.
100%.
I mean, Sam Altman also, like, you know, I was listening to a podcast with him. He was on Joe Rogan last year. And yeah, he's a Zionist. So, or he didn't say he was a Zionist, but he was like saying, oh, that awful invasion or whatever. And it's just kind of like, oh, shut up.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy, but this that he's trying to squash down is essentially the basis for what could ultimately turn into fucking Skynet.
Yeah.
From
if you're-
Terminator.
Yeah, because if you can take all of the information and use it and make analysis based off human behavior and all that stuff, they can make deductions that would be detrimental to humankind. Like,
There was also a story recently. I think there was an AI that literally created a meme coin, like a meme cryptocurrency, created this whole kind of cult around it, like this cult lore. And that coin is now worth like $1 billion or $800 million.
Jesus.
And the AI had $10 million of it.
that's
So like, how do you even like who taxes that? Who owns it? Who owns those coins?
wait, who owns those coins?
I mean, I guess the person who owns the AI, but like
That's crazy.
Like, how do you?
Yeah. And by the way, here's from the New York Times. They wrote an opinion piece recently. Brian Thompson, the United Healthcare CEO, not Luigi Mangione, is the real working class hero.
That's an ironic title, right?
No.
No.
Everyone
No?
has been saying Brett Stevens is like
Because
a terrible writer for the longest time.
Thompson grew up in a working class family and whatever, worked his way up, and then what is this? All this suggests that Mangione may prove to be a figure out of a Dostoevsky novel, Raskolnikov with a silver spoon. It's a familiar type. Blah blah blah. What is this? Osama bin Laden came from immense wealth. Angry rich kids jacked up on radical nihilistic philosophies can cause a lot of harm, not least to the working class folks whose interests they pretend to champion. Working class folks like Brian Thompson, I guess. Stupid, huh? New York Times, you're fucking trash.
I've been saying that for years.
Yeah.
The new Karen times.
Oh, and here's this happening now in Seattle along Highway 99. A hacker changed the street sign to read, "One less CEO, many more to go."
I mean, you're asking for trouble there, but
Yeah.
Yeah, 8.7
This is
million.
why, like, anarchism is like,
Lisa's proud socialist, but
I know what it says, but this is anarchist, like, stuff.
yeah, I'm only saying what needs to be said.
yeah, we don't condone violence.
No.
We're peaceful. Okay, let's play a game. Who killed the most Americans?
Oh, 100%.
Brian Thompson or Osama bin
100%
Laden?
Thompson.
Okay.
I mean, Osama bin Laden was just a CIA.
You can literally do the math on how many people Brian Thompson has killed. I haven't done it yet. That was a video idea. I just haven't gotten around to it. But we know the exact statistics of how many people die and what percentage United Healthcare is responsible for. We know how many lives are on Brian Thompson's hands.
All right, and don't forget this old article about Osama bin Laden. Anti-Soviet warrior puts his army on the road to peace. He was our hero before.
What's the date on that?
Probably the 80s, during the when the Russians left Afghanistan fighting.
So right on the right, 1991?
1993, maybe? I don't know.
I guess that was before the first bombing.
Oh, 93.
World Trade Center.
Anti-Soviet warrior puts his army on the road to peace.
I mean, you saw Rambo, right? How they say, "Congratulations to the Mujahideen."
Yeah, right. Rambo Mujahideen. Yeah. This film is dedicated to the brave Mujahideen fighters of Afghanistan. All right. So, and again, don't forget who just took over Syria is who was he? The number 2 guy in Al Qaeda or whatever the fuck he was. Anyway. And going back to the United Healthcare thing, don't forget, it's only illegal to murder the powerful.
Oh, my God. That guy that fucking killed that guy on the subway.
And apparently he's being invited to some Trump event or something. Did you hear about that?
Yeah. It makes me so fucking mad.
I mean,
I think he's innocent, but
I would just okay, fine. Even if he's innocent, like, why not just distance yourself from him? Like, why get involved in that? Like, anyway.
I mean, I've seen the case, and like there were black people in the jury who agreed, there were black witnesses who agreed, and there were black people helping him who agreed. So
Yeah, but he did also hold on to him longer than he needed to. That is also a fact.
I'm just saying, the jury was there, the witnesses were there, we were not.
Okay. And that is it for the United Healthcare stuff. Now let's get a little more into Syria. There's been some updates. Have you guys been following what's been going on in Syria at all?
Loosely.
Yeah.
Anything? Any thoughts?
I mean,
Syria's bombing the fuck out of
we talked about
Syria.
it last time, didn't we?
Yeah, I forgot
What
what
did we
we
say?
said. But
Oh, okay.
there's a huge update I saw this morning.
Okay,
Finally,
yeah, so
you know what I'm
yeah.
talking about?
I think I know what you're talking about, but go ahead.
Assad finally released a statement on his
Yeah.
Telegram channel or something, and we're going to get into that message. But this is something that, this is like from a week ago, but apparently Assad rejected a deal with the U.S. before his overthrow, the Washington Post reported. So before the Western-backed opposition advanced in Syria, the Americans offered him to stop allowing Iran to use his territory for Hezbollah. In return, the U.S. promised a gradual lifting of sanctions against Syria, which I wouldn't trust. More fatal for Assad was his refusal to improve relations with Erdogan, Turkey's leader, who proposed normalizing ties with Damascus in exchange for restraining Kurdish groups who, for whatever reason, Turks hate Kurds, restraining Kurdish groups and allowing the return of at least some Syrian refugees to the Republic. There's that. What else? Donald Trump said Assad was a butcher. We saw what he did to children. By the way, he never condemned the massacre of children by Netanyahu. Okay. And I remember Donald Trump bragging about stealing Syria's oil back in like 2017. After he bombed them, I think.
Yeah, bombed them in 2017.
Yeah. What is this? Syrian girl. I don't know. Sometimes her takes are weird, but she says Assad avoided fighting Israel, they keep saying. Well, at least under Syria, under him, defended itself against Israel. The treason revolution is not even doing that while Israel invades. Instead, they are celebrating the fact that they weakened the state.
Did you see the post where Gaddafi like pretty much predicts all of this?
You mean at an Arab League meeting with all the Arab leaders? Yeah, I've seen that, yeah. That's an old one, yeah. And now look at Syria being bombed. Like, I don't know, this bomb looks crazy. You got check this out. Like, this is not a normal bomb. Apparently this caused an earthquake.
3.0 magnitude.
This is in Syria, by the way. Is Hamas here?
They're saying that it was because they blew up a weapons depot, that the weapons there caused the explosion.
Okay, so Syria.
I mean, that is kind of what it looks like with all those extra explosions happening.
I did say,
But
I
either
did
way, it's
see someone
insane.
say that a typical nuclear explosion has an ionization thing or something that he didn't see. So I was like, all right.
Yeah, it doesn't look nuclear. It looks nuclear catastrophic, but it doesn't look actually nuclear.
Yeah, and
Or it could be a tactical nuke, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
we haven't
what
really
the fuck
seen
do I
those.
know, honestly?
Yeah.
and this is in
We don't know what that
Tartus,
looks like.
Syria. Tartus, Syria. Let's see where this is. It must be near the Israeli border. Oh shit! It's north of Lebanon. So Israel's down here. They're fucking going beyond Lebanon and bombing north of Lebanon.
Yeah, they're
That's fucking crazy.
trying to create greater Israel.
So what are they going to do? Take over all of Lebanon too?
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to say we need this for our security.
Fucking Israel, man.
Like I said, they're a fucking creep colony. They're trying to spread their creep all over the fucking map.
For people who don't know, creep in the game StarCraft, the Zerg is an alien race. They look like cockroaches, and they can only build on what they call a creep. It's like this slimy, disgusting thing where that's how they claim their land.
It's like they're interconnected.
The Iron Dome
horde.
is the sunken colonies.
Yeah, and the spore colonies.
Oh, yeah, spore colonies. Right.
So air defense, right? Yeah. And so what Doug is saying is that Israel spreads this filthy fucking thing all over the map.
Yeah,
to
because like
expand its territory.
whenever you make a drone and you create one of those
Yeah.
colonies,
It spreads like,
more of that
it's-
shit.
It spreads your land essentially. It's like
Yeah.
this is you.
So this is from StarCraft 2. I don't know what I'm guessing this
It's
is the
actually
creep,
a
right?
pretty good illustration of imperialism.
Is this
think
the
about
creep?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah, so the
shit
Zerg,
is the
or the Israelis here, they are not allowed to build on, they can't build over here. They can only build on this creep. It's funny that they call it a creep. But,
because it's like creeping.
oh, right.
Yeah.
And as you build more, the creep will grow. So if you add some structures here, the creep will grow even further. So it seems like Israel's spreading its creep all over the Middle East now.
Yeah.
Assad was, whatever. He was.
I think he was like, at the end of the day, he was a doctor. He inherited this kind of like dictatorship. And I think for him, he was just kind of like, you know what? The heat is too much for me. I'm just a family guy. I never really wanted this job to begin with. I'm trying to help the people of Syria, but
Yeah.
it seems like,
Anyway, here's some more footage from the bombing yesterday. It's crazy.
more crazier than that were just like the beheadings, right? Like the
There have been beheadings. Yeah.
killings of Christians in Syria.
Israel.
Yeah, this is the revolution in Syria. Is it's not really an improvement from Assad's regime.
Yeah.
Oh, watching that stuff makes me nauseous.
Yeah, it's like, and you, again, I think we talked about it last week. The Reddit Syria group, they're like, why is Israel doing it? Like, you motherfuckers, you didn't expect this shit? Come on. So anyway, what else? Here's this new thing. Syria's new government announces it will move away from state-controlled economy to a free market model to attract investment. So this is called disaster capitalism. Syria is the new Iraq. Expect airstrikes to hit state-run institutions and enterprises so they can be sold for pennies on the dollar to private multinational companies. They did it to Yugoslavia. That was in the 90s. Libya, 2011, Iraq, 2003, and now they're here for
They
Syria.
actually did it to Korea because, little known fact, the reason why Japan was able to recover its economy so quickly is because they provided a lot of the repairs and stuff for the Korean War.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what jump-started their economy again.
Right.
Koreans killing each other. That's what helped Japan.
Okay. All right. And as you know, let's read this note from President Assad, or former President Assad. So apparently this was released on Telegram. I wasn't sure if it was for real, but then I think seeing it in the press, I think it is for real now. So, statement by President Bashar al-Assad on the circumstances leading to his departure from Syria, Moscow, December 16th. That's today. As terrorism spread, okay, I won't do his voice. As terrorism spread across Syria and ultimately reached Damascus on the evening of Saturday the 7th, questions arose about the president's fate and where. Is he writing this in third person? Anyway. This occurred amidst a flood of misinformation and narratives far removed from the truth, aimed at recasting international terrorism as a liberation revolution for Syria. At such a critical juncture in the nation's history where the truth must take precedence, it is essential to address these distortions. Unfortunately, the prevailing circumstances at the time, including a total communication blackout for security reasons, delayed the release of this statement. This does not replace a detailed account of the events that unfolded, which will be provided when the opportunity allows, so we will get more information. Now, first, my departure from Syria was neither planned nor did it occur during the final hours of the battles, as some may have claimed. On the contrary, I remained in Damascus, the capital of Syria, carrying out my duties until the early hours of Sunday, the 8th, December 2024. As terrorist forces infiltrated Damascus, I moved to Latakia, which is north of where we just saw Israel bombing, in coordination with our Russian allies to oversee combat operations. Upon arrival at the airbase that morning, it became clear that our forces had completely withdrawn from all battle lines and that the last army positions had fallen. As the field situation in the area continued to deteriorate, the Russian military base itself came under intensified attack. No viable means of leaving the base. Moscow requested that the base's command arrange immediate evacuation to Russia on the evening of Sunday, the 8th of December. So this took place a day after the fall of Damascus, following the collapse of the final military positions and the resulting paralysis of all remaining state institutions. He says, at no point during these events did I consider stepping down or seeking refuge, nor was such a proposal made by any individual or party. The only course of action was to continue fighting against the terrorist onslaught. I reaffirmed that the person who, from the first day of the war, refused to barter the salvation of his nation for personal gain, or to compromise his people in exchange for numerous offers and enticements, is the same person who stood alongside the officers and soldiers of the army on the front lines, just meters from terrorists in the most dangerous and intense battlefields. Now, he did mention even in 2011 that he was offered amazing things to just fucking step down and leave. But he is the same person, or he's talking about himself here, who during the darkest years of the war did not leave, but remained with his family alongside his people, confronting terrorism under bombardment and the recurring threats of terrorist incursions into the capital over 14 years of war. Furthermore, the person who has never abandoned the resistance in Palestine and Lebanon, nor betrayed his allies who stood by him, cannot possibly be the same person who would forsake his own people or betray the army and nation to which he belongs. I've never sought positions for personal gain, but have always considered myself as a custodian of a national project, supported by the faith of the Syrian people, who believed in its vision. I have carried an unwavering conviction in their will and ability to protect the state.
Bless you.
Thank you. Defend its institutions and uphold their choices to the very last moment. When the state falls into the hands of terrorism and the ability to make a meaningful contribution is lost, any position becomes void of purpose, rendering its occupation meaningless. This does not in any way diminish my profound sense of belonging to Syria and her people, a bond that remains unshaken by any position or circumstance. It is a belonging filled with hope that Syria will once again be free and independent. End. So that is the statement from Assad.
Well, the war in Syria.
Anyway, I don't know. Could he make a comeback someday?
I think he's done.
Yeah,
I mean,
Israel's
he's already like reapplying for his medical license. I think he's just like, he just wants to be a doctor again.
Yeah, and anyway, that's the statement from Assad. I hope we get to see more from him, like in an interview. I'd like to see like a very long, in-depth interview with him. He's done.
Do you think
many
it's
of
even
those.
possible that he could return to a normal life?
I think in Russia he
In
could.
Russia, yeah.
He could just be a freaking doctor. Now, in Syria, Syria had terror groups or fighters from all over the world, including from China. There are many fighters fighting in Syria who came from China, from Xinjiang. I'm talking about the Uyghur Muslim
Terrorists.
extremists who want whatever it is. But let's go here. The Uyghur Mujahideen addresses the congregation in a mosque in Syria's city of Latakia. Why are Uyghurs in Syria? What are they doing there, huh? So this is December 10th, and they're talking about how they're going to go back to China and create a new state, East Turkestan, right? They want to call it?
Yeah.
They want to create their own state now. Not Xinjiang, but East Turkestan. And this guy, Q Anthony Ali, says, thanks to every fucking moron who bought into the Uyghur genocide scam and repeated it. That means you too, Butch Ware, who is the VP candidate for the Green Party. And we asked Mike Feinstein about it, and he kind of...
He did a Peter Thiel.
He did a what?
Peter Thiel.
Oh, right, yeah. No, he did way better than Peter Thiel, but yeah. Yeah, this is exactly what the U.S. wanted to happen by taking the East Turkestan Islamic movement off the terror list. Militarize Salafist head choppers and point them towards Xinjiang. What else we got on this? Told you China was telling the truth. These Zionist-backed East Turkestan Uyghurs are planning on destroying Xinjiang and causing death and destruction to Chinese Uyghurs. Now, this is Jolani, the new Syrian leader, and the Turkestan Islamic Party commander.
The Al-Qaeda leader?
Yeah, the Al-Qaeda.
In Syria?
Yeah. So what are they saying here? We will arrive in Damascus, not Homs. Homs is another city in Syria. With Allah's permission, inshallah, God willing, like this, we also see the liberation of East Turkestan. That is Xinjiang. And, yeah. So, what else? This guy, Arslan, I've seen this guy on Twitter for around.
Fucking annoying.
He says, he literally said, it's been 2 years since I've arrived to the U.S. to work for the CIA.
But, the silver lining is that they don't see how idiotic they seem, or like how obviously federal, operatives they are now.
Yeah.
Like before, they were flying under the radar because, most people are racist and anti-China and don't care about China, but and so they just took their word as like gold or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, they're saying bad stuff about China. I hate China. It must make sense. But now that they're saying, oh, I work for the CIA, it's just like, bro, like you don't want to. That's bad for you.
Yeah. So this Uyghur guy who has never set a foot in Xinjiang is funded by CIA. Open information show that Hidayat, this guy Arslan Hidayat, serves as a program manager for a U.S.-based separatist organization whose founder Rushan Abbas is even more notorious. Abbas was employed by the CIA, known as the favorite human rights activist of the NSA. Okay. So we got this. What else we got here? We got here's something funny.
I sent you a message, or I sent you it on the computer.
Oh, on the computer. Okay.
Just go over this one there.
Yeah. So here's after the revolution in Syria, so-called revolution. This guy starts speaking. Allah's great. Allah's God. Blah blah blah. You see this new flag? That's the new the Free Syrian flag. The original flag is doesn't use these colors. Now, he's allowed to speak until he gets to a certain point. Then they take the mic away from him. You'll see which part. Right after he says America, they grab the mic. He looks like he could be an American man. So that's that. What else we got here? Let's watch this video real quickly. China releases a video about Xinjiang, the Uyghur Mujahideen, and Syria. They claim the U.S. wants to destabilize West Asia and the Belt and Road Initiative. Now, we've never actually heard the Chinese perspective on this. This came out by CGTN. So let's just check it out here.
China. In the 1990s, the U.S. wants to separate Xinjiang from the rest of China because Xinjiang's location is way too important geopolitically. So here, China can bring something to the...
David, you can hear this well enough?
entire Eurasia that some U.S. politicians are scared the most, peace. Let me explain why. First, Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, located in northwest of China, connects China with Central Asia. Xinjiang shares borders with 8 countries: Mongolia, Russia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and India. Xinjiang wasn't just a key hub in the Asian Silk Road. It's also a key gate for the current Belt and Road Initiative to expand westwards. It will connect East Asia, Central Asia, West Asia, and Europe. This is the region that the U.S. government and several Western countries have been spending billions of dollars in the past decades to sponsor terrorism, wars, and instabilities. The textbook divide and conquer strategy. Because Eurasia is too big. If they unite, they will be too strong. And that is threatening for the U.S. to maintain its exceptional position in the world. In other words, hegemony over the world. However, China's Belt and Road Initiative are bringing infrastructure and economic development to this region. China-Europe railways go through here. Billions of dollars of trades taking place at the ports in Xinjiang. And this economic development will raise the living standards of people living in this region. And when people are much better off, there will be no reason to participate in wars and terrorism. So the U.S. came out with a plan. How about we support separatism and divide Xinjiang from China? In the 1990s, this political analyst named Graham E. Fuller, who served both in the National Intelligence Council and CIA, wrote a report called The Xinjiang Problem. In this report, he was teaching his fellow politicians and scholars how to play the Uyghur card and stoke separatism among Uyghurs to destabilize and contain China. If you don't believe my words, how about listening to the words of retired U.S. Army Colonel Lauren B. Wilkerson himself? He used to serve as the Chief of Staff to the U.S. Secretary of State Colin Powell.
The one I spent 31 years in, the military. Here is what it has decided for Afghanistan. And I bet you don't know this either. We're in Afghanistan as we were in Germany post-World War II. That is for at least a half a century. It has nothing to do with Kabul and state building, nothing to do with fighting the Taliban or proving that we can reconcile with the Taliban, and nothing to do with fighting any terrorist group. Because it is the only hard power the United States has that sits proximate to the Central Base Road Initiative of China that runs across Central Asia. If we had to impact that with military power, we are in position to do so in Afghanistan. Second reason we're there is because we're cheek and jowl with the potentially most unstable nuclear stockpile on the face of the earth in Pakistan. We want to be able to leap on that stockpile and stabilize it if necessary. And the third reason we're there is because there are 20 million Uyghurs, and if the CIA has to mount an operation using those Uyghurs, as Erdogan has done in Turkey against Assad, there are 20,000 of them in Idlib in Syria right now, for example. That's why the Chinese might be deploying military forces to Syria in the very near future to take care of those Uyghurs that Erdogan invited in. Well, the CIA would want to destabilize China, and that would be the best way to do it, to foment unrest and to join with those Uyghurs in pushing the Han Chinese and Beijing from internal places rather than external.
Unfortunately for the U.S., their plan to separate China is failing. All 56 ethnic groups in China will love and support each other. We unite and hold on to each other like pomegranate seeds. And we will unite with the rest of the world to build a community with a shared future for all mankind.
Sounds very communist at the end. Yeah, so I don't know. It seems pretty accurate.
Yeah.
You know, even mentioning Erdogan inviting the Uyghurs in through the Turkish border to fight in Syria. Piece of shit, he is. So, is this what you wanted me to... Okay.
You know what's driving? Look at the fucking books he's reading.
Oh, this is an AI? I thought this was fake. Because his head doesn't look like it's really attached on there.
It's real, I think.
It looks really fake.
Yeah, I mean, do
I don't
books...
think that's real, dude.
This
Those
doesn't
are
look...
real books, though. AI
Those are-
can't. AI.
Yeah,
can't,
but look how they're positioned.
Yeah, that's photoshopped so
This
badly.
is fake.
And it's Oh, it's Photoshop. Then it's not.
Well, I mean, his head doesn't even look real.
Yeah, it's not. That's
Oh, it's not AI. It's Photoshop then.
Yeah. All right.
Never mind.
But anyway,
Unless you ask AI to Photoshop it.
Yeah. Anyway, oh shit,
I don't know.
we're over.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
okay, let's go real quick through this. CNN doing some fake news. So they talked to a woman in Syria. Says for 13 years she was afraid to go outside because she could have been killed at any moment. But now it's over because Assad is gone. Look at her. Her English is impeccable.
This is amazing. This is unspeakable. This is us after 50 years of darkness. This is us after 50 years of death. This is absolutely amazing.
Syria was one of the most peaceful countries in the world in 2010, but okay.
Shocked. Imagine. We've had 14 years now. Did you ever imagine?
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
AOC outside the border.
Oh, when she's crying. Now, here's another thing. This CNN lady, Clarissa Ward, they went to a prisoner. They went to a prison to free somebody, but it's so fake. You got to check this out. So this guy spends 3 months in a dark, windowless cell and then looks immediately at the sun without a hint of feeling too bright. Was it Syria is free? Extraordinary moment as Clarissa Ward and her team witness a Syrian prisoner freed from a secret prison in Damascus. Look at him. He's just freed.
3 months in a windowless cell. You can find.
Well, he doesn't look. He looks. Look at those perfectly trimmed nails.
I mean, he's military.
Yeah, and then look at the community notes. Verify C, a Syrian fact-checking group, now says that this man is Air Force Intelligence First Lieutenant Salama Mohammed Salama, notorious for extortion and theft in homes, who had been arrested due to disputes with his colleagues about profit sharing. Now, CNN, this is the same lady that, she was like on the ground.
Yeah.
Like as if she's under attack.
They're making atrocity propaganda.
This is fucking ridiculous. Even Max Blumenthal, he's gray zone, right?
Yeah.
Is he gray zone? Yeah, he is gray zone. Okay. CNN is still airing this stage segment despite it being exposed as a fraud and community noted. Zero editorial standards necessary when advancing regime change and no consequences for news actors like Clarissa Ward. Dumb.
It's fucking Gubbles Gremlin.
Look at her. Is she a real journalist?
That's what I
Hell
call
no.
them. Gubbles Gremlins.
Gobbles Gremlins. It looks like she ate. Oh.
Fucking Nazis.
Oh, look. She goes, we can confirm the real identity of the man from our story last Wednesday as Salama Mohammed Salama. This is 2 hours ago.
So she's claiming that she was duped as well. Is
Let's
that what she's claiming?
Yeah, let's see what CNN says here.
She made it very...
Freed prisoner who said he was a victim of the Assad regime was an intelligence officer.
yeah, I guess that's
So at the very
that's
least,
the narrative they're going
So
with.
at the very least, she's saying like, I'm guilty of not fact checking.
Right, but really they knew all along, and this is just them backpedaling.
I mean, it was bullshit the whole time. They knew it was bullshit. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. She was atrocity propaganda before. Like, she was like,
I don't
on
understand.
The floor
Did
and
they just like lay off all the fact checking fucking departments in all publications? Because like back in the 90s, that was like a very known thing. Like things had to get fact checked like 3 times before you published.
Yeah, I think standards have gone down quite a bit. And Ajamu Baraka, who was the vice president candidate for Green Party before Bush were back in 2020 and in 2016, and he actually called Obama an Uncle Tom. But he tweeted today, I saw, he says, CNN, they knowingly did this. They should be taken off the airwaves. They shouldn't be allowed to broadcast anymore. It's bullshit. So, yeah. And let's end this today with showing a final video. Another freed prisoner who was locked up and tortured in Syrian prison goes viral on international channels. Now watch. Obviously a victim of the Assad regime. Let's see him get out of the cab or the car. His right foot, he's got a cast on it or something. It must be in pain. Ouch, 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 ouch. Oh, you motherfucker, wrong head, wrong leg. I mean, do you see how fake this is?
Why did they upload that? Why wouldn't you do
I think
it?
it was. I think it was somebody else.
Maybe it was a
with camera.
live stream? I don't know.
I don't think they knew that they were being recorded. I think it was a random.
It didn't even register that he was faking at first. I was like, I'm not understanding what their medical system is there. I was like, why is he putting his pressure on the cast foot? I was like, maybe it's not a cast. I was like, maybe it's like, nope. The simple answer is often the right answer.
Occam's razor.
Yeah, it's bullshit. So anyway, there's your Syrian revolution.
Tankies always right.
The tankies are always right, huh?
The tankies are always right.
Yeah. So, that's it for us today. You guys got any comments? We will have a special, very short episode on Christmas, which we're going to record right after this. It's going to be.
Are we?
I think we were going to do a Christmas greeting thing, like a little thing just for Christmas release. Like, hey guys, it's us from. We wish you and your family.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So we'll see.
Look out for that.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next.
Merry holidays.
Ho ho ho.